My first trip flying a budget airline. Come with me. Am I gonna love it or am I gonna hate it? Let's see. I recently flew an ultra low-cost carrier for a short last-minute flight from IAD to BNA, the DC area to Nashville, Tennessee. This was a last-minute trip, so my flight options were limited. Those of you who follow me know that I love to travel on a budget and have been brand loyal to Southwest for more than 15 years. However, this time I had to try something new. I have flown other ultra low-cost lines in the past, but that was more than 20 years ago. And after a horrendous experience of several delayed flights, being stuck overnight in the airport, poor communication, and lost luggage without compensation, I vowed never to fly cheap again. That is, until now. Stay till the end when I give my final thoughts on whether or not Allegiant Airlines is a must or bust. My trip started when I booked my flight online 2 days prior to travel. I found the website easy to navigate. I chose to bundle my trip and fly round trip to save the most money. It turns out Allegiant literally only had one outbound flight to my destination for the entire week and only one return flight 4 days later, so I had no choice in which day or time to choose. This is one of the many ways they save money as an airline, keeping fewer planes in their fleet. And as I would come to find out, this can create havoc when traveling. Anyway, I booked my round-trip ticket only to find out that they charge for paper boarding passes. So tip number 1, download the app. It's required to avoid fees associated with printing a paper boarding pass. Boarding the flight was actually quite smooth on Allegiant. They board by group number. Your group number can be found on your electronic boarding pass. Now, I also heard that legroom on Allegiant was abysmal, so I elected to pay the additional $11 per leg to book an exit row seat. And I'm so glad I did, because once on board, I found the standard seats to offer virtually no space for those passengers over 5 feet 8 inches tall. So tip number 2, if you need a little extra legroom, pay for the exit row seats. It's well worth it. This gave me an additional 6 to 8 inches of space. The seats are slightly narrower than industry standards. However, the aisles are extra wide, which I found to be really nice. No bumping the shoulders of the people in the aisle seat when making your way to the bathroom. Another point for onboard comfort is to keep in mind the seats on Allegiant do not recline. So if you're one that likes to kick back and relax on a flight, I wouldn't say Allegiant is for you. Tip number 3, carry-on is extra. While Southwest Airlines allows for 1 free personal item and 1 free carry-on bag per passenger, plus 2 free checked bags, Allegiant, like other low-cost airlines, requires you to pay for all carry-on bags, but you can still take a personal item on for free. You'll need to select the number of carry-on or checked bags you plan to take when booking your ticket online. Allegiant also allows you to choose from 3 basic packages. The basic package only includes 1 personal item. The bonus package includes that plus a carry-on and seat selection ahead of boarding. And the total package allows seat selection, checked bag, carry-on bag, personal item, and priority access, all with different prices. To be honest, I was a little worried about the overhead bin space on board the aircraft, concerned it might be smaller than I'm used to, but that was not the case. My base carry-on fit perfectly in the overhead bin even when it was fully expanded, and I didn't observe any gate agents making people check their bag for being too large before we boarded. Tip number 4, consider the service. I'll be honest, on my flight, the flight attendants left a lot to be desired. While it could have just been my flight in particular, I found the flight attendants to be quite rude and ultra serious. They scolded someone for being on their phone during the safety briefing. I mean, who really pays attention to that anyway? And they even asked another passenger why they were recording their family member during the flight. I certainly did miss the humor and the friendliness of Southwest Airlines staff. Now, onboard comfort is not to be ignored. Tip number 5 is consider preparing ahead of time. There is no in-flight entertainment, there are no TV screens like you may find on JetBlue or Delta, and there's no Wi-Fi on board either. So make sure whatever device you travel with, your iPad, your laptop, your cell phone, that you've downloaded TV, shows, movies, music, all prior to takeoff. Tip number 6 is pack snacks. Allegiant does not include any free drinks or snacks on board, so be sure that you've prepared by packing a water bottle or bring a drink on board, or packing some food from home or grabbing something from the airport. Now, they do offer onboard snacks and drinks for an additional cost, but I found those to be way too expensive, although there was a decent variety. Chips were $5 and $6 for a small bag. Drinks were anywhere from $4 to $10 a piece. One last thing to consider is that Allegiant's hubs are limited. They don't fly everywhere. Out of nearly 20,000 airports in the US, Allegiant only flies out of 100 locations. Well, I did it. I just made it off my very first Allegiant flight, my very first budget flight with Allegiant, and I have to be honest, it went better than I expected. I honestly didn't think that I would enjoy the flight as much as I did. Would I fly Allegiant again? Yes, absolutely. Don't be scared to try it, especially if it's going to save you some bucks along the way. Until next time, happy travels.